And welcome back to the TSF Entertainment channel. It's your boy Retro CG. I'm in the building. We got a sleepy one with us tonight. In the building tonight, we got Miss Really B TV in the building. She's a little
Sorry,
tired.
I'm not sorry, y'all. I just took some medicine, so my bad.
Fresh Highness, what's up, brother?
What's going on, y'all?
Ain't nothing much. How's everybody doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. It's Friday.
It's Friday. We made it to the end of the week, y'all.
Yes.
We made it to the end of the week. Is it
I'm
just
1 week
me, or did
closer
it feel like it was taking forever to get here?
It
I'm
was
1
definitely
week
taking
closer to my
forever.
summer vacation, so I'm all right. Yes.
How long? How long for your summer vacation?
I'm 1 week closer. Last
1
day
week
of school. The last day of school for students is June the 13th. So less than 2 months. Less than 2 months.
That's a little early.
Damn.
Yeah, they
That's
everybody's last day is pushed up in our area because we didn't have no snow days.
Oh, that's right. We definitely didn't get no snow. I forgot all about that.
We had no snow days. So like the last day of school was supposed to be like something like the 18th or the 19th, and they pushed it up.
All right, so what we're here for, Bel Air Season 2, Episode 9. It's just like old times. What y'all think about the episode?
Predictable.
I would agree. I would definitely agree. I would agree 100%. It was very, very, very predictable.
Very
Not only
predictable.
was it predictable, but there was stuff that they're not addressing that I really have a problem with. They're not a certain thing, and we'll get to that as we go through the episode. But there are things that they're just it's reminding me of Power, and I hate to say it. I know we love Power, but we can call Power out. It's like they'll start these storylines and then they'll just be gone, and you're like, wait, why did you make such a big deal about this just to never talk about it again?
Yep.
So,
Big facts. So we're going to go ahead and hit you guys with that intro, and we'll be back to talk about it, guys. All right, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Y'all make sure as y'all coming on in, y'all hit that like button, get settled in, get you a drink, get you a smoke, sit back and kick it with us and relax while we break this episode down. What's up, everyone that's in the chat? All right, so we're at episode 9. Man, it feels like the season has just started and it's almost over already. I kind of agree with what you guys were saying. The episode was very predictable. I mean, we've pretty much been predicting every episode all season, and we see a lot of different things that are introduced to us that we felt like was important to the story, but yet we didn't get any follow-up. So I'm irritated with that too, really. Like, I don't feel like we've gotten enough follow-up to some of the things that they introduced to us, and I feel like could have been cleared up in this season and not have to wait till next season, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. That's definitely for sure.
I'm gonna be struggling with this one, guys. So y'all gonna have to help me out this week because, like I said, this is probably the first episode. I know Really B had a few of them, but for me this week, this episode right here just didn't give me what I was looking for episode 9. It just, we built up all this mystique around Doc's character, and we built up all this ominous things that we could thinking about with Doc and Jackie, and I just feel like it underwhelmed. It was underperformed. It wasn't really as big as what I expected it to be. Who else got that feeling?
Well, I said that last week. Like, and it took them too long to get there. Like, by the end of this episode, we finally got where we knew we were going 2 episodes, but it took them too long to get there. Like, the conversation that happened at the end of this episode, it really should have happened last week. Once we found out about Doc, this conversation should, because we knew what was happening. The minute Will told Doc his secret, we knew what the deal was.
Yep.
That Doc was gonna find a way and be able to use it against Will to get to Uncle Phil, which is who he really wanted all along. So we already knew that, and it just took us too. We had to wait all the way through this episode to get there. It was too much. It was too long.
Not only that, but we had to wait too many episodes for it because we felt that way when they had the episode when Uncle Phil and Will went down there to pay the tuition for the program. We had that vibe then. So that should have been at the very least introduced to us the next episode after that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I agree. I feel like it took us too long to get to what we already knew was getting ready to happen.
It definitely took too long.
Yeah.
Q1 says she's agree. Yeah. Fresh, what's on your mind?
I mean, I agree with y'all. It did. It just took it took too long. And also I felt like that conversation, it should have been at the start of the episode and not at the end of the episode. Mm-hmm. Like everybody, like you left episode 8 with the cliffhanger and then Will and Phil being in the office, and then it just jumps to now like y'all are out. Nah, it should have started with that because that's what we was waiting for, and then y'all waited all the way to near the end of the episode to tell us what we've been waiting for, what we already knew.
To give us confirmation, yeah.
Yeah, to give us confirmation. This should have been at the beginning of the episode, and then you could have filled in the blanks with everything else. But yeah, that should have been at the very beginning of the episode.
At the very least. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Mom.
What I was going to say was what they could have done was because the way the episode ended, we really didn't need this conversation at the beginning. We get it. Doc, what we really should have fast forwarded to the beginning of this episode should have been the conversation with Uncle Phil and Jeffrey went and confronted him. Then we have the rest of the episode to sort of work through how they're going to get out of it or what. Then they could have confronted Will and said, Will, what did you tell him? Like, you need to tell us everything that you told him. You know, like, then we can get to some other stuff. But I just feel like by them dragging this out, we are missing the action part of this. Because, again, we knew, like you said, we've been building up all season to this part, which it really shouldn't have taken us this long to get here. But
yeah, I don't know why they drug this storyline out because they had so many other storylines that could have gotten us through the season. This shouldn't have been the season's biggest cliffhanger. Like we could have ended way better than where we're ending up at now. So the episode starts off with Will sitting down with Aunt Viv, Uncle Phil, and Jeffrey. And pretty much they are kind of like discussing the whole situation about the information they've learned about Doc and his former business partner whose name is Lorenzo. And I really didn't get a clear understanding of what Lorenzo was trying to do. I guess Lorenzo and Doc had started the Zenith hype together. And I guess Lorenzo, the former business partner, is now trying to expose or extort Doc for, I guess, his business dealings. What was the whole deal with that?
You mean as far as him exposing?
Yeah.
I mean, like you said which we'll get to near the end, but it was basically because of he was, in a sense, Doc was trying to go straight, and the other guy was trying to like keep it
dirty.
Like,
okay.
Yeah, trying to keep it dirty. Like he was trying to get street stuff involved with it, and Doc ain't want to do that.
I really wish that would have been flip flop.
Yeah, like Doc said, there was money to be made in the legitimate side of this. Like, we can get rich legitimately doing this by running our AAU, getting kids to the play. I mean, remember that contract? Hell, he getting 15% off of everything they making. He was like, we can make money legitimately, but he wanted to illegally do it, and like steer kids to colleges that were like greasing their palms and stuff like that. So it seemed, I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel like they gave us complicated when they could have gave us basic. And what I mean by that is y'all went a roundabout way to give us this complicated storyline about keeping it hood versus going legit, when y'all really could have just made it real basic and said, okay, he was trying to run drugs through the company, he wanted to clean money through the company, he was getting in bed. Because the problem is, because of the NIL, it's kind of hard to just give us a straight up booster storyline anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel like they was really trying to make it complicated, instead of just keeping it real simple. Look, we ran the streets together. He's still in them streets. I was trying to go legit. He wanted to use the AAU as a front to launder money. That would have been like, you could have kept it real simple. But I feel like it was real muddled. I'm with you, Miss Sharon. It was confusing because I feel like they said something different at the beginning than what they said at the end. But
I'm with you, Kiwan. I think that the writing was very lazy this season.
I agree 100%.
Xavier, I guess that's what we're assuming, that Lorenzo was trying to launder money through Zenith.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch it, but I believe at the end that's what Doc was telling Phil, was like, yo, he was trying to bring the streets involved into the whole thing, and he was just like, yeah, nah, it's gonna get, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna get too messy, and he wasn't trying to do it that way.
Not that the storyline was outdated, more so not properly used. I think the storyline could have been good if they would have used it better. It's just kind of like what Really B was saying. If they would have kind of shifted some things around, me personally, I feel like they should have flip-flopped the characters. I think that it should have been Doc that was trying to, because they made Doc seem like he was the
criminal mastermind.
The criminal mastermind, yes. So it should have been where Lorenzo wanted to make the business clean, and that's the reason why he left. And Doc was, trying to do shady things. That they should have flip-flopped it. And like Really B said, they could have shifted the writing around a little bit where they made the storyline more interesting. Like right now, after finding out what the whole end game is, I'm not interested in the storyline anymore. It's kind of like, so?
Right. It's real anticlimactic.
Yeah, it's very anticlimactic.
Excuse me, y'all. It's real anticlimactic because I said the same thing. I'm like, I wouldn't use the word outdated, Xavier, but I think they're trying to take something that 3 years ago would have been a major storyline.
Right.
That's just not anymore. Like with NIL, there really is no need for boosters, and there really are no rules that you're violating in the NCAA anymore if you're taking endorsement deals or whatever. And that eliminates the need for boosters, because if I can go to a top college and get a couple of endorsements, I'm making $500,000, $700,000. I don't really need the boosters. I don't need to take money from the boosters. I don't, that dangling is sort of gone now with NIL. So
yeah,
I mean, even the smaller schools, the kids can get local endorsements and make a couple of $1,000s a year,
Right.
So I just think it's an old storyline that they tried to flip that just didn't work.
So Carlton is at school, and I guess one of the lacrosse team members, or I don't know, we've seen this guy before. Yeah, we've seen this guy before. I think he was over at the party that they were having in one of the episodes. Comes up to Carlton, and he's looking for Connor, and they kind of push the narrative to make you think that something bad had happened to Connor.
Connor sure
like
did.
He was missing.
Yeah, like I thought Connor was gone.
Yeah, I thought that. Okay, whereas last episode, we know that Carlton kind of got robbed, but not robbed. They didn't really make it clear what happened. Like they took Carlton's car for a joyride or whatever the case may be. So then when that scene came up, I was thinking to myself, oh shit, okay, maybe Connor wasn't part of the, maybe something happened to him too.
Yep.
So Carlton's like, well, he tries to play it off like, I'm not Connor's keeper, I don't know where he is. But then we see him text him like, dude, where are you at? Everybody looking for you or whatever. So I really wanted them to go somewhere with that. And where we got to, that was disappointing. I'm like, so what was the point?
Very disappointing.
That was very disappointing. If Connor was gone, we wasn't going to be mad. Nobody wouldn't have been mad about it at all.
We wouldn't have been mad. I mean, I would have wanted to know the story, but we wouldn't have been mad.
And that's what I was getting ready to say. And to be honest, if they were doing a better job of writing, I would only be like, well, I don't think that's the whole story. I think it really was still a setup. Connor is just covering his ass, but they did set him up. But because the writing has been so blah, I'm like, maybe that really is how it went down. Because that just sounded stupid.
Yeah, it was stupid. And actually, I went a different direction with that, because if something did happen to Connor, it would have been interesting to see how Carlton would have processed that, because he woke up from a blackout. So he didn't know what had happened. He didn't know what was going on. He was kind of wandering around in the rain or whatever. So if Connor would have came up unalive, it would have been interesting to see how Carlton would have processed that. Like, oh, what happened? Was I responsible? What that would have been a really good storyline to have Carlton work through that. Even if Connor would have turned up OD and seeing Carlton process that and figure out, what type of role did I play in Connor's being unalive, that would have been a very interesting storyline. But what they gave us was stupid.
And you know what would have been great? What would have been a great storyline moving into next season? Because we know that there's a next season. Would have been a great storyline going into next season would have been Connor is missing.
Yeah.
Right? And either Connor is missing or he comes up, like you said, unalive. And the last person that he was seen with
was Carlton.
Leaving the school. We remember the video was dropped. Was Carlton, you know what I'm saying? Like Carlton could reasonably next season, we could have had a whole court trial with Carlton potentially looking at a charge.
That's
and
where
it would have taken us back to the season 1 dark level.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like that would have been a great storyline.
Well, they kind of did that. I agree with that.
But think about it. You go back to season 1. Isn't that where we started with season 1? It was real dark. I mean,
it was
we
dark.
had a shooting. Yeah, we had a shooting season 1. We had people coming up unalive on the West Coast. We had Jeffrey, being stealth. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we were season 1.
I agree.
They made it real pop gum, bubble gum, I should say. They made a real bubble gum season 2.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they should have done that. That would have been a great way for them to introduce the story being a little bit more darker and just trying to figure out how now Uncle Phil now has to help Carlton get out of a jam, just like he had to help Will get out of a jam. Exactly. It would have been nice to see the roles reversed on Carlton.
Right.
Being in the wrong place at the wrong time, because that's how Will got into his situation. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. We clearly know that Carlton was in the wrong place at the wrong time. So that would have been a good lesson learned for Carlton, that story.
Right. And then you even add the element that the eyewitness that saw them drive off together is the dude that don't like Carlton from the BSA.
And was the one that snitched on them to the Fed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They could have turned it into a whole story.
Because they actually made it seem that way when this scene right here, when what's her name, Lisa and Drew walks by and Carlton looks at him and Drew kind of looks back at him and gives him that look like, yeah. And then he started having that conversation with Lisa about Carlton and Connor hanging out. It would have been a perfect setup to make him the snitch. He has an ongoing beef with Carlton where he could have ran and reported that, Connor's missing. The last person I seen Connor with was with Carlton. That would have been perfect. What is it that they're trying to show us here at this point? So now is it I'm so confused with where they're trying to go with the love triangle. Is the love triangle more centered for Will, Lisa, and Drew, or is it for Carlton, Lisa, and Drew?
I think it's both, because this one was the one where the Asian guy was walking away and then he turns around and then they got that. I think it's both, because remember when he told, which we'll get into later on in the episode, remember I think he was lying and telling the truth at the same time, that like, yo, I went to hang out with Connor to blow some steam because I was falling back in love with Lisa, etc., whatever. And so I did that. I think that's probably where they're about to go back to, because remember, what was last season? It was them going at it over her. So it feels like they're trying to bring it back since him and Carlton are still at odds. Although Will don't, I mean, he does, but I think that's what I think they're trying to bring that little whole 3 triangle, love triangle back.
It's definitely a square, Xavier. I agree with you on that. It's definitely a square. Beulah in her mini skirt. I'm not interested in this storyline between Drew and Lisa, and I think what they're just trying to give us here is, Lisa's kind of just like wasting time with them until she gets back with Will. Eventually, we know that she's going to find her way back to Will. So Will decides that he's going to go be the Black Captain America, and he's going to go down here and inspire and motivate the guys at Zenith Hype. I guess.
Oh, that scene was so stupid. Oh,
yeah, it was stupid. It was stupid. I guess he's trying to get them to flip on Doc, and these dudes told him like, "Yeah, we know Doc into some ish, but we don't really care. Like, this is an opportunity for us,
right.
And it's the best opportunity for us because you get to go home in a Lexus to a mansion. We have to catch the bus home. So, like, whatever he's into, we here for it because we don't got no other opportunities. And I kind of felt where they were coming from for that. Like, everyone ain't got the same, you can walk away from this and unscathed. You can walk away from this and you go back home to a mansion. These fellas don't really have those opportunities. So I felt where they were coming from on that.
I mean, I saw both sides. I felt where Will was coming from because he's like, yo, if he's willing to do this, ain't no telling what he gonna do. So I get it right now, he's your path out. But who's to say that once you get that path, let's say you get to the NBA and now you about to get this big endorsement deal, and he like, oh yeah, remember such and such, it's in your contract, you owe me 35%. But I also saw their side.
Xavier, me and you are on the same page this week. And I was hoping that maybe Really B or Fresh could explain it to me because I'm confused too. Like, why does he even care? Like, nothing bad has happened to you, so why are you so pressed? I agree, Xavier. I mean, does anyone have any insight on what is it that Will's upset about? I guess because he's being deceived again.
Yeah,
I think that's part of it, but I also think because Will looks stupid. Uncle Phil tried to tell him and he didn't want to listen.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Embarrassment.
Okay, that's what it is. Going back to taking it to a dark place, like, who else felt like when they showed the scene with Will dressed in all black in a hoodie and he was sitting there processing everything, and he was remembering the conversation between him and his dad. He was remembering the conversation between him and Uncle Phil about Doc. Like, who else thought he was getting ready to go do some stupid shit? Like, I really thought he was getting ready to go try to unalive Doc or something. What the hell Will was getting ready to do?
Was that was the end of that was the end of this one, right?
The end of the episode.
Is it at the end of the episode? Because I thought it was right after his confrontation with Doc. I thought it was
Nah, it's the end of this one. His conversation right after Doc is when he went to go tell Uncle Phil what was going on.
Okay.
On the last episode.
Okay. They say keep your friends close and your enemies even closer. So Erica done brought her ass over here to these people's house, being nosy, trying to figure out how they living, or they living well. Oh, I'm so sorry for what happened to us in school. I just want to hear these beautiful flowers. I want to make a peace offering. Everybody knew that was bullshit.
I knew that. I was like, yeah, she up to something. I was like, you ain't fooling me. I was like, nah, bro, you ain't just. Yeah, I just came to put the past behind us. And nah, bro, like, you could have called for that.
Right. So Really B, what did she come over there for?
What did Erica come over there for?
Yeah, what did she come over there for?
I think she came over there for exactly what she said. She was like, she felt like that Phil's hesitation about taking a job was her past situation with I Ain't Vi. So she was trying to, clear the air so that, like, she exactly what she told him.
Yeah. I think she's working her own angle, and I think that this right here is getting her one step closer to trying to manipulate her way back into Phil's life. So I can see that, her coming over there and trying to win Vivian over so that Phil would take the job so she can have him closer to him to be able to do her thing. Yeah, we're not trusting Erica. We are.
You know what I feel like this is? I feel like this is the opposite of season 1. Remember when it was I can't even remember his name now because he wasn't even in the season. Yeah, Reed's character with Viv. So now this is the 180, and now it's going to be Phil's character with the Erica chip. I just feel like they just reversed it this season.
Yeah, I agree. And I also don't trust, something else. And again, at this point, I don't trust the writing, but let me just say this just in case. Remember when they brought up the other friend and
Mm-hmm.
Erica was like, "Oh, you still talk to her?" And she was like, "Yeah, she's gotten me through a lot of stuff." And I was like, "Wait a minute. Is there something with them? Like, is there a story there?" But,
I
again,
was thinking
we
the
can't
same
know.
thing. I was thinking she was going, something was going to come out, something else. She was going to reveal something else with the friend.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But I said, okay.
You know what I was going with? Where I was going with that is very similar to what y'all was saying. I was going to the place where Erica was going to reveal that, well, Jones the reason why me and Phil hooked up. Like when y'all
Right.
hooked up, she was the
Something
one
that
who,
feel, yeah, something that Ava don't know.
yeah,
Something that
something that
Ava
she don't
don't
know.
know.
Yep,
I didn't even think about
that's the
that.
impression that I got. That she was like, oh, that's your friend, but she's the real reason why me and Phil hooked up. That's what I was waiting for, a missed opportunity, because it was almost like they were setting it up for her to say that. And I'm
Right.
like, okay, let me no.
Yeah. Right. I didn't even think about that. Now that y'all said it, I was thinking it was more so like, or I was going. Here's what I thought, but y'all was good. I thought she was going to reveal that your friend slept with him too. Is what
Yeah,
I thought she
it's
was going to
definitely
reveal.
something that I thought, but again, the writing has been so disappointing. I can't say for a fact, but yeah, I felt that way too. I feel like it's something there.
It's something along their lines, yeah.
It's definitely something there. I don't know what it is, but it's something there.
Yeah, it's something there, and we'll find out what it is. It seems like Uncle Phil and James are having a staff meeting, and for James to be a managing partner of the firm, he's sitting at the table like he one of the workers. Like, you need to be at the opposite end of the table. If Uncle Phil's sitting at one end, you need to be at the. Which I kind of felt where Uncle Phil was going at the end of the episode, because I was bothered by the placement. I'm kind of like with Miss Honey with that. I look at where characters are placed at.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, well, why is he sitting out here in the audience with the workers, and Uncle Phil's up reviewing the contract when it's y'all law firm? Like, you guys should be in an authoritative position together, but it's more like he waits for Phil to make the decisions, and he either co-signs or doesn't co-sign, but he goes with what Phil wants to do ultimately.
I took it as he doesn't have that much stake in the company. I feel like he's probably like a minority stake owner, like, or whatever, like a minority partner. I mean, not a minority stake, but like although all three of them came in it together, I feel like I look at it as him, Phil, and the other guy who passed away. They put up like the bulk, I guess, the cash or whatever, and he was like the third, the last. He was the minority partner in it. That's how I looked at it. But you make perfectly good sense, because them other people, them two people that's sitting on the right, on the right of him, they was looking at Phil like he was crazy.
Yeah, I think what it is not necessarily that. I think they have equal share in the firm, because he was actually able to enter the law firm in this acquisition negotiation. So he wouldn't have been able to do that if he was not an equal partner, or a managing partner where he could commit the firm, or possibly put the firm up in a position where they could be bought. But I think more so it's kind of like what he was saying, and really B kind of broke that down to me last week. And since then, I've been kind of thinking, okay, Phil's the hotshot attorney. He's the one who gets the class action lawsuits and the big cases. This dude right here, he might do wheels and torts. He might do estate planning or some shit. So he may not bring in the biggest billable hours or whatever. So he's kind of like on a lower end. He's not that high. The firm is Phil, and we see that. In order for him to get the account back, he had to pretty much, go work for the other firm, which that was another missed opportunity too. Like, there's so many missed opportunities, because what Phil should have done was he should have told the people that he would take the job with Erica's firm on one condition. I want you to buy my firm and merge it in. Because remember, they said that he was going to be over 10 different offices in LA. Well, this could have been another office that he could have kept his firm, but merged it into with them where they bought him out, put money into the firm, and they still was able to keep his firm, and he was still able to take the job, and he still would have gotten the account back. But instead, his firm is still independent. He should have merged his firm with Erica's firm, is what they should have did.
Yeah, I was thinking that same thing. I was gonna say that once we had got to that scene. That's exactly what I was thinking he was gonna do. I figured he was gonna merge them. Is what I was thinking that he was gonna do.
Yeah, that's what I thought the end game was. Like, we're gonna get some money and we're gonna get to keep our firm.
Yep. But as you can see, that's not what he did.
Yeah.
I took it as him not having a lot of confidence, because when Phil gave him that, that pep talk at the end and was like, "You can do this. It's your turn now." I feel like maybe he always took a back seat to Phil and the other guy. You know what I'm saying? And then the fact that he couldn't keep the place going in Phil's absence, I think he just felt like maybe he just wasn't as good of a lawyer, or wasn't the rainmaker that Phil was. So I think, when Phil was like, "No, you can do this. Like, you can do this. So,
it's your time to shine," right?
Yeah, that's how I took it.
The only other thing I would have liked to have seen with this scene when Phil and Jeffrey came in, because Jeffrey had been trying to call Phil during his meeting to let him know that Erica was at the house, and to prepare him before he got home that Erica was there with Vivian. The only thing I would have liked to have seen was like an off to the side conversation between Vivian and Jeffrey, where because we always see Phil and Jeffrey working their sideline agendas, but it would have been nice to see Vivian give an assignment to Jeffrey as well and be like, "Yo, keep an eye on her." Even though we already know that Jeffrey probably is keeping an eye on her,
Sure is.
it would have been nice to see Vivian activate him, and see her use Jeffrey the same way that Uncle Phil uses Jeffrey for like the enforcer. So it would have been nice to see her, I'm not gonna say put a hit out on Erica, but put Jeffrey on notice that, I want you to keep an eye on her.
Keep an eye out for sure. Look at her smile; it's already devious.
Yeah, it's devious.
It's devious.
She's perfectly cast.
She's definitely got some ulterior motive. She's definitely gonna come on the field.
Yeah.
That'll be next season.
Yeah. And you know what? I was thinking the same thing too. And I feel like, if he don't give up the goods, he gonna end up losing that job behind it. Like, because remember he asked, what's the catch? And they were like, there is no catch. Oh, there is a catch. There's a catch. If you don't put out, you finna be right back at your own firm, because Erica gonna find some way to get your ass up out of there if you don't give her what you want.
Which might be why they wrote it the way that they wrote it, so that he didn't give up his firm, so that he could go back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Sense. Will and Lisa are having a conversation, and we find out in this conversation that, Lisa is kind of not feeling Carlton right now because of the conversation that Carlton had approached her with last week about Drew and airdropping the video. And Will comes clean and says, "Well, I'm the one who told him to tell you about it because I felt like you wouldn't believe it for me." Her reaction to Will was totally different from Carlton. Whatever, she played Carlton out like he was trying to be the jealous, ex, or whatever the case may be. And she looked at Will like, she was actually considering that, maybe it could be true or whatever. But I think that Will just planted a seed in her that she need to keep an eye on her old man, because a man ain't what she think he is. And so she received that better from Will than she did from Carlton. So we just see that they're just posturing these two characters because we know that they're going to end up back together.
Yeah. I thought that same thing. I thought, well, actually, when he told her, I thought right there it was going to be like she was going to figure out, or he was going to say like, "Yo, I approached him about it, and he basically, in so many words, told me
right." That's what I was.
He never said that, and I was like, "Yo, why you just like why?"
That's what I was waiting for him to say too.
I'm like, why y'all ain't have him say that? Like
that would have been perfect. Yes,
the perfect opportunity, instead of beating around the bush and giving like these little signals or whatever. I'm like, yo, that would have been the perfect. That's what I thought he was going to say, but he never said it. But like you said, you could still see in her head that like afterwards, like she started thinking like, okay, well, if Will told Carlton to do that, like, okay, it might be some truth to this,
right?
Because I think she probably just thought Carlton was just saying that since she, gave him the cold shoulder after he gave her the necklace or whatever.
They do have her kind of the way they're dressing her and her makeup and hair this season. They do have her kind of like she's a little bit older, and I think that Xavier is just them trying to make her a little bit more mature.
Mm-hmm.
Who's Carlton on the phone with at this point?
He's calling Connor's phone,
calling
trying to
Connor.
get in contact with him.
He's trying to still get in contact with Connor. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot all about this.
Yeah, that's when he's calling him and going crazy.
I'm gonna let you know what let Really B go off there because we talked about
Okay.
this on camera earlier, and I know she's gonna go in on this. So go ahead, Really B.
Okay, so this whole scene was stupid. Explain to me why Hillary and old girl never had a conversation about her going behind her back, getting the water deal. Never had a conversation. Even the point where she made a joke about Hillary getting a billboard before her, when that was like her whole goal. This whole football game, the build up content, this whole scene was stupid because even when you go back to, I'm gonna just say this: Hillary playing games. Because Hillary, y'all was playing football, you jumping into this man's arms, y'all all booed up, hugged up. You know people are taking pictures. You know people are videotaping. You know that at any point in time, Jazz could go on your Instagram and see it or whatever. Yet you get mad because you see him dancing with another woman. Yeah, that was stupid. I can't.
And you all up in this man, you all up in this man lap. I mean, come on, yo.
Right, like, come on, man, like,
right.
Because that's what I thought was gonna happen. I thought they were gonna show Jazz like scrolling through her Instagram and seeing it.
Yeah.
So my thing is, at any point in time, Jazz could see it, but you mad because he dancing with, like, come on, at a party. You mad because you caught him at a party dancing with another woman. Like, stop it.
I'll save my thoughts once we get to that scene.
But yeah, I agree. I felt like this was, again, y'all playing with us. Y'all playing games with us. Because what was the purpose of us seeing the whole scene where Ivy was telling Hillary that she could not enter into the Simply Spike lemonade deal because her lawyers already said that she was on a non-compete. She couldn't compete with a competing product. And y'all set this up where she's excited about this whole content thing and this football game and the billboard and all that. And they not even have her address Hillary. Look, why did you do this? At this point, they should be at odds with each other. They should not be homegirls at this point. They should be at odds with each other behind Hillary's decision. And there's been no confrontation whatsoever about it. It hasn't even been mentioned again. And we haven't even seen Hillary endorse the product. That's the crazy thing. You're running around here trying to create content, but you just got an endorsement deal and you haven't even endorsed the product that you signed up Influencer House up for. The storyline just does not make any sense. Scrap it.
Yeah, I said the same thing as soon as I saw her. I was like, okay. I was like, I guess maybe we missed that they're cool with the deal or something, because I was like, last I remember, she had a problem with it. I said, I guess maybe we just didn't see that, whatchamacallit.
And I know that Karuchi is working on other stuff, but still, even if they could do it just like how they're doing with Reed's character, where it's talked about and not shown. Yeah. But the fact that they actually showed her in this scene, it was a perfect opportunity for her to address Hillary and confront her at this event. It would have been a perfect opportunity for her to confront her at this event. Like, yo, I'm not feeling what you done. We're going to have some legal ramifications. I'm going to be sued or whatever the case may be because, my water, you signed us up and I can't endorse this product. It should have been a conversation, an argument at least.
Yeah, it should have been something.
Well, not only that, but we're going to stop using that as an excuse. And what I mean by that is this. I'm tired of us always saying, oh, well, they were on another show. Oh, well, they were filming for another show. Oh,
right.
Listen, they could have for season 2, they could have recast Karichi's whole character and nobody would have ever noticed.
Yep.
I mean, because last season, okay, yeah, we saw where she, talked to You know, she talked to Hillary, and Hillary convinced her to buy the house, buy the contract out. Fine. Woulda
Yep.
could have came back season 2 and had a whole different person, and we'd have been like, damn, I guess Karichi had another job, and we'd have moved on. But don't
Yep.
compromise your whole storyline because Karuchi can't film. Like, I don't mean no harm, but she ain't Denzel. Like, you ain't adjusting your whole storyline because she can't film. And like Chris said, what they could have also done was they could have had some stuff play off offline. You could have seen Hillary talking to Karichi and Karichi on the other line cussing her out. You could have
through
had
a text.
right.
Yep,
You could have
or
had
through
Hillary
text.
saying she's threatening to sue me. She's threatening to fire me. But like you could have moved the storyline without her physically being there. But then when she finally does show up, your response is to act like none of that ever happened. No,
Miss Sharon, that's a good point. I think Hillary does want to be with both men.
I agree.
I'll
She's
get there.
conflicted. She's conflicted. She wants to be with them for different reasons. I think she wants to be with LaMarcus because LaMarcus ups her socialite status. She wants to be with Jazz because Jazz is something fun and distracting for her that it's not normal for her. And, it's kind of like, Jazz is the wild card. But I do kind of feel like she wants to be with both men for different reasons. Ashley shows up and she's Hillary's little assistant for the day, and it's just giving her some screen time that we could have used her on screen for other stories. Like I really wish they would have went a little bit deeper into the whole thing with the teacher and the student last episode. Like I'd rather see Ashley in a scene with her and Olivia discussing that, or doing a little robot thing than this, because Ashley added no value to this storyline other than to give. And I don't like how they position Hillary and Ashley. Ashley's the younger sister, but she gives better advice to Hillary than Hillary gives to her.
Well, I mean, that's what kind of happened in Fresh Prince of Bel Air because
time.
Hillary was a dick. So
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, I was for sure this episode we was going to see at least Ashley, and I forgot the girl's name. I thought we was going to see something.
Yeah, I thought we were going to move further into that storyline, but we didn't.
Also, because I want to make sure, because maybe I was hearing stuff or maybe I wasn't. Didn't she say for the TikTok person that was coming or something? Didn't she say like she was young and she was queer or something like that?
I remember Ashley saying she was young and queer. I don't know about the girl that was supposed to come.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Ashley was saying that herself, not the TikTok person, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't tripping. I was like, okay, that's like mad random, but okay.
And then y'all talk about this influencer person that was supposed to show up for the event, and we never saw them. At least with the birthday party, they did show the little sweetie character or whatever, but they didn't show the person that was supposed to be showing up and make the event.
Didn't come.
Yeah, I guess she didn't come, right?
No, she didn't come. That's how Ashley ended up playing football.
Oh, that's right. They did say that the girl didn't show up and she had to wear.
She said she couldn't show up. Something happened. I forgot.
Okay.
She double booked or something.
Yeah. Okay. Vivian and Phil are at home, and they're having a glass of wine, and they're kind of talking about the whole Erica situation. And we also didn't talk about the fact that Erica pretty much gave Vivian the motivation to accept the job.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of like, okay, yeah, she's kind of setting Vivian up to be out of the way because she's gonna be busy with this fellowship. So she's like, oh yeah, she's gonna be busy with this new job. I'm just gonna slide right on in and take an old man from up under her, or whatever the case may be. But then they start having a conversation about Phil taking the job, and Vivian pretty much gives him her blessing that, okay, if you want to take the job, you can take the job, but I think that really broke it down for me earlier, because I had an issue with that. I was like, well, why is Vivian being so naive to the situation? But it's not necessarily that she's being naive to the situation, is she's watching it from a distance. She already know that her homegirl probably got some bad intentions, so she's gonna just try to see how this thing play out.
I don't see it as them being comfortable being insecure in their marriage. I don't see that. First of all, I don't see them being insecure in their marriage. To me, that speaks to security.
I agree. I think that their marriage is very strong.
Yeah, the fact that she's like, yeah, go ahead and take that job, working with the woman that you dated while me and you, because I think it makes a difference that we understand the context too. She didn't steal Phil, and Phil didn't cheat on Aunt Viv.
That's
It's
right.
just Aunt Viv felt some kind of way because that was her friend, and she felt like that should have been off limits. So I think that also puts it into perspective as well. Because if excuse me, y'all, if it had been a situation where Uncle Phil cheated, I think that would be different.
Yeah.
I don't think she would be so quick for that. But it wasn't that he cheated; it just was a effed up situation, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that if we're going to go with the insecurity narrative, it was more so last season than this season because she felt like Uncle Phil wasn't supporting her with the art, and the whole you didn't trust me with the whole Reed situation. But
Mm-hmm.
this season, I feel like their marriage is real strong, and whatever indifferences that they may have had previous season, they worked through. So I
Because
think that,
remember, Uncle Phil rode his happy ass right on down to San Diego last season.
yep.
He felt some kind of way about Reed, and he rode his happy ass right on down that road, make sure there wasn't nothing going on.
And
I felt
remember how he was at the silent auction and he bought the painting because he saw
Hmm.
Reed had bidded on the painting and he went and bid
Yeah.
higher.
Yep.
Yeah. So I feel like there was a little bit of insecurity last season, but this season I don't think that they've shown us any insecurities on either part where the marriages. They've actually shown Vivian to be very supportive of Phil, even though she's not feeling his decision making, because you could tell that she wasn't comfortable with the whole situation, the conflict between him and Will. You know, she kind of got in the middle of it, but at the same time, she kind of backed out of it real quick. And just kind of really supported her husband with the family reunion and everything. So I don't
Hmm.
think that their marriage is insecure.
Somebody being see, I don't agree, Xavier. I don't agree that jealousy equals insecurity. I think jealousy is a natural emotion. How you act on that jealousy, I think, is where the insecurity comes in. I mean, it's natural to feel jealous. I think that's a natural emotion. I think how you act on that emotion is where the problem comes in. You know what I'm saying? You want to like Uncle Phil going down to San Diego last year. Remember, Aunt Phil was like, "I got this. Like, you ain't have to come down here because I know why you did it. I know
Mhm.
that is different from from Aunt Vi saying, I got my eye on her. I don't trust her, but I also know that I can't dictate to him what he can and can't do. But I got my eye on her. I'm peeping it. I ain't stupid.
And not trying to gang up on you, Xavier, but I don't feel like they have trust issues either because she knows all about his decisions that he's made. And, whether she agreed with them or not, she supported her husband through them with the whole adoption thing with Jeffrey's son, the whole situation between Will and Lou, the whole situation with the Will and Doc, the whole Zenith hype. So I feel like they don't have trust issues. We see that they are very much aligned in how they're moving as a unit,
I,
because we saw where Vivian was the one who had the paperwork for Jeffrey's son adoption. So I feel like they're very much in sync.
I don't even think it was jealousy. I think it was like that's just my opinion. I think it was more so Phil. I don't think it was insecurity, nor do I think it was jealousy. I think it was more so like, yo, Phil knew, like, yo, he know the vibes. He a dude. You know what I'm saying? He know, like,
Yeah, he
yeah,
just knew
I
that dude
trust
was
my
up to no
wife.
good.
Yeah, dude up to no good. So I'm
Right.
out the show, like, yeah, I'm here. You're not about to try to do anything or attempt anything with my wife. That's how I took it. I didn't see it as
Hmm.
jealousy. I just looked at it as he was more so like, yeah, nah, I can already tell. Like, yeah, nah, you trying to do something with my wife. I'm not having it. That's how I looked at it, but I didn't
I,
see it as
re-
jealousy though.
I really wish they would have made his character the his practice of law like a criminal defense attorney because it almost paints the picture that Phil is used to being around, shady characters or whatever, so he can read them real well.
Mhm.
And so I mean, everything that he's reading down on Reed was right. Everything he was reading down on Doc was right. So, he's seeing that these guys are moving. That's why he got his own enforcer on payroll, where, sometimes I got to get my hands a little dirty, but I can't necessarily get my hands dirty, but I got people on payroll to do that. So I feel like Uncle Phil moves in a way where he kind of makes silent moves, but at the end of the day, he sees what's coming ahead. He's almost kind of like moving like Ghost in a little bit, where he's kind of like 3 moves ahead. So he saw all this coming to head with Doc. He was trying to prepare Will for, if this doesn't go well for you, it's because of this, not that I'm trying to control you or anything like that. So I really like how they're positioning Uncle Phil. We have our moments where, we feel like Uncle Phil is doing the most, but at the end of the day, he's really been a good supporter for his family.
Yeah, he definitely is. For
He's
sure.
just not utilized. I mean, they don't go to him, and he avails himself for them to come to him if they need some. We saw where it was the first place that Will went when he found out about Doc. He went to Uncle Phil because he know that Uncle Phil can get shit done. So Will and Doc have a conversation outside of school, and Doc was like, well, since you in the locker room trying to get all my players turned against me, you're like, what's up? What's on your mind? How you feel? Like, Doc pushing up on him like he wanted to square up.
I thought they was going to square
I
up.
wanted Will to throw the fist up. Like, yo, what's up?
I literally thought for sure Will was just going to take off on him. I was like, yeah, they about to get ready to fight. And then I was like, Will probably about to get the brakes beat off of him because he fighting a grown man. He might get a couple of punches in there, but that's literally, I thought the same thing. I thought they was about to fight.
Yeah, I thought there was somebody finna run a fade on somebody. Like, what's going on? Yeah.
That's literally what I thought.
But Doc was really just trying to please his case and, kind of make Will see beyond sight or whatever the case may be. But, even at this point, I don't feel like Doc's motives or intentions have been vindicated. So, I'm still looking at him side eye like, yo, this dude still ain't, I don't care what he's telling you. He he's a slick talker. But, at the end of the day, like, yo, this ain't the type of hype that you need to be part of. Zenith hype. Like, yo, go ahead, Will. Like, I don't even know why you even, like, if it was me and my situation, I would have moved past this, like, real fast. I wouldn't even waste the energy on it. Like, yo, whatever. If you're going to expose me, expose me. Like, you're not finna sit here and guilt trip me.
Yeah. And my thing is, why do you have to turn it into a crusade? Like, if you want to walk away, walk away. But like that whole locker room speech and all of that, like, dude, if you no longer want to be a part of this, walk away. Now, if you want to talk to the people who you was cool with on the team, because they only showed him really being cool with like 2 dudes. If you want to talk to the people you was cool with on the team and be like, yo, y'all cool with what Doc doing? That's one thing. But sir, you have been on the team 2 weeks, and here you are coming in the locker room giving this whole, Norma Ray speech, and we should walk out and all of that. And I'm like, what did you really expect them people to do? They don't know you. They don't know you, and you're not offering them the alternative. Like, yeah, that whole thing was crazy to me.
And the ironic thing is, we saw him do the same thing with his basketball team back at Bel Air, where it was like, yo, you got the hot shot here. Like, so, like, play your position on the team and be quiet. Like, so if you want to control your own narrative, then be in your own narrative. But, you are part of something that, you can't change. Like, this shit been going on before you got here. It's going to be going on after you got here. Like, walk away from it. But, you're putting yourself at risk of having further conflict with Doc when you're in here trying to incite it kind of reminded me of how he took over the BSU thing, where you're trying to incite a riot. You're trying to incite others to join you on your crusade. Like, that may not end well for you, Will.
Right.
You're right, Xavier. He does not know how to be a team player. He's a team of self.
Oh my God, he's terrible. He's terrible.
Man.
And
to me, this was the best part of the episode.
You know what? Ultimately, for me, and I think my biggest frustration with Will this season is that there was no growth. Like, we saw, Carlton reverted. We know he got back on the drugs. But we did see Carlton trying to do better and trying to be a better person.
Right.
Hillary, she's struggling, but she's trying to be a boss. I think she's just in over her head with what she's trying to do. But we see her trying to move into her own. I don't see that. I just don't see no growth, and it is frustrating. But go ahead. Yeah, let's talk about this. This is another scene that I was like, what the fuck?
This was the best scene in the whole show. This was the best scene to me.
Go ahead and talk to us about it, then, Fresh.
I mean, the joint. It just caught me off guard because when Carlton comes in the house, and the first thing he sees is Connor and his mom. Immediately, I thought Connor had already told everything.
Yeah, me too.
So I was thinking like, okay, now she about to find out what was really going on.
The drugs and all. Mm-hmm.
All of that. So that's why I was shocked. I was shocked that he didn't reveal that. And then I was also shocked that Connor even like changed the story and kind of like took the blame.
What is the game? What's the end game? What is the end game?
I didn't understand why Connor did that. Like, does he feel like he owes Carlton? Like, I didn't understand. I mean, he said, "Oh, your mother's scarier than mine," but you ain't. But still, you ain't got to live with her. Like,
what is he setting Carlton up for? He's reeling him in for something. What?
That I was thinking two things. I was thinking either he was taking the heat because, like you said, he trying to set him up for something later on down the line, or two, I think like he was like, I do this type of stuff all the time. My parents don't do nothing to me. I know your parents do stuff. I'll take the heat. Ain't nothing about to happen to me when I get home. That's how I looked at it. Like it was almost showing his white privilege in a sense in this scene.
They did a good job showing that in this scene, but I feel like his motives are for a bigger picture. And I feel like we finally got somewhat of them addressing the language. Because as Connor was sitting there cursing his mama out, Viv was looking at Carlton like, I wish you tried.
Right, but they let him cuss. Like, just because they cuss at you, they still let you. Y'all still let them cuss all over the place.
Yeah, because he was cussing that mama up and down. Right.
It was. That shit was. But that was funny the way they. And had it been a situation where they weren't cussing around Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv, I probably would have found it more entertaining. But I was sitting here like, don't be making that crazy face because they be cussing all the time around y'all.
And y'all don't say nothing.
I think it was more so because like they cussing around them, but they not cussing at them like how Connor was at his mom.
But yeah, that's true. But still, I don't know.
Excuse me.
I really, to be quite honest with you, and I could be reaching, but again, blame it on writing because the way that they are writing the show and the way they are writing Carlton's character, this is why I feel this way. I feel as though they are making Connor's getting the kick out of Carlton just turning into a full-fledged addict. And rather than, because Connor is the only person that we've seen in Carlton's life that's not trying to help him kick the habit, that's encouraging it. That is the only one that's not trying to support the anxiety issues and anything like that. So it almost seems like it's shits and giggles for Connor. That, every time Carlton backslides and goes deep off the deep end, whatever, Connor's getting a kick out of that. So I feel as though he's doing that to make to bring Carlton back in closer to him, to make you feel like, oh, that's my friend, that's my real friend or whatever. Yeah. But really, he's not your friend. You are his competition. You're not. He doesn't look at you as a peer. He look at you as a privileged black boy. And, he's just sitting here getting entertainment out of destroying your life. Like, he's a friend, but he's a friend with a wolf in sheep's clothing, is the way I feel like they're writing his character. And something bad is going to end up happening to Carlton. And we're going to see either Connor be really upset about it and feel bad about it, or we're going to see Carlton or Connor not give a fuck about it at all.
Yeah. He's probably, I'm thinking he's not going to care at all.
Yeah, he's not going to care at all.
That's how I'm looking at it.
I don't know what they're doing with these two characters.
We don't know what they did this whole season.
They act like Connor is the only person in Bel Air that got drugs. I'm like,
right.
Like, I mean, let's even rewind it back to last season when Carlton was using regularly. Is Connor the only person that he knew that had it? Like, that don't even make sense. Like, Carlton, you don't have your own connect. You don't have your own people in your phone you can call. Like, how is Connor the only person that that can get you drugs? That don't make no sense.
It comes across
makes sense.
It comes across as a little peer pressure-ish. it comes across as a little bullying, almost a little bit, because we almost see Connor almost like kind of bullying Carlton into using, peer pressuring him into using. So is that the message that they're trying to send? I'm very unclear as to the message that they're trying to convey with these two characters, but it just seems like, Connor's in a position of white privilege, and he kind of doesn't look at Carlton as an equal, and he is exploiting Carlton for Carlton's weakness, which you never let an enemy know what your weaknesses are, because Connor is playing to that. So I just don't know what the end game was. Initially, this season, the end game was the whole fellowship, the Founders Award. But since he's out of the race now, so that's not his end game. So I just think that he's really just getting the kick out of fucking with Carlton.
Either that, or he got his friend back that he know he can do drugs with. And to piggyback real quick, I'll make it short, off a really big comment. The reason why it's easier for him to go through Connor is because Connor can get that connect way easier than Carlton can. Where Carlton try to get that connect, 9 times out of 10, Carlton gonna get caught. So it's easier for Connor to make that transaction without getting caught, and it's easier for him to go to those higher ups that we don't know, where he can get it easier where Carlton can't. So
that's a good point.
That's pretty much. I mean, prime example. And I hate that we always revert back to power, but Weston Holdings. So that's like Connor, and
that's true.
So
that's a good point. What is she doing? Is she looking at old messages, or is she still texting Jazz? Because I had a question about that, because if she's still texting him, then she's definitely wrong for how she reacted at the end of the episode. Because if you're texting him, because it looks like in the message she says, "Yeah, come through. I'll leave the door unlocked." But that's the last message that he sent to her when she.
Right, that's the last message he sent to her.
He sent to her, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, those are old messages. Those are old messages. Because if you look, it say the family reunion is today.
Oh yeah, yep. Those are old messages. But it looks like she was getting ready to send him a message.
Yep, she was. Because it was the
having his open house, and she was getting ready to. She texted out, "Good luck with everything today," or something like that, and then she ended up not sending it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because homeboy came through. I forgot what he said, and he said something about like he wasn't trying to pressure her with the billboard and something else, and I'm not gonna push you. Let's just make it, your day today, or something like that. And then that's when she ended up deleting all of that and not send it at all.
Okay. All right. Big fact. So Erica and Phil are having lunch, and this is where he decides to accept the job offer. She's excited that he accepted the job offer. And of course, he was like, it comes with a few conditions. One of them is real big. And I'm like, okay, here it comes. 1, he's going to ask for the account back, which he did.
Yep.
2, I need to bring my firm with me. And 3, we can't have any type of personal relationship. That's how they should have wrote his response. But they did it. At this point, I'm ready to see a conversation between Phil and Erica. Y'all still dancing around and like we don't know. when we first met the character, they kind of flirted around the idea of, so we left us to assume like, okay, they've had some kind of dealings. Now that we know that y'all have had dealings, okay, it's time for y'all to have a conversation about it. Like, okay, Erica, you're back in my life again, but I'm happily married. I love my life with Vivian. We can't go there. We're going to have a strictly professional relationship or whatever. Like, say something to this woman, because this woman is flirting with you. You know that this woman has a hidden agenda, and you're feeling uncomfortable about this whole situation, but you're not addressing it. Like, I wanted him to address it.
I'm mad that he didn't, because I was for sure think that he was going to address it, and he never addressed it. I didn't understand it, and that's why I was like, okay,
that's why
he did all of that.
Problem.
And then this right here, when she whispered in his ear,
we're gonna have fun together or something like that.
I said, oh, okay. I thought immediately then he was going to shut everything down.
He ain't
But
shut
no.
shit down.
But nothing. He just made this. No, matter of fact, I'm sorry. Where I thought he was going to shut it down is when she brought up Viv. When she brought up Viv and
Oh yeah,
said,
but that's how
you
he know.
know,
He know what she up to too now. Like,
when she
but
said,
again,
and he's,
him saving his law firm was more important, I think, in that moment.
And I commend him for that. Because whereas we feel like a lot of times his moves are selfish, the character showed us this episode that saving his law firm was more important to him than his personal situation. Because at the end of the day, he don't need either. He's a billionaire, so he don't need either. He don't need
is he a billionaire or is he a millionaire?
No, they said he was a billionaire. I think in the original series he was a millionaire, but in this series they made him a billionaire because you remember when Doc and JB were reading the headline about Uncle Phil, it was billionaire banks. It was
I thought that was just like a headline, but okay. I'm trying to figure out where he get his billions from because he was just running for office. So.
They said it. They said it. They said he had won a big class action lawsuit. He had won. Remember when he was on the Big Boy show and they were, kind of clowning him about being a sellout?
That's right.
And I mean, he's chartering private jets, living in a mansion. I think he got a few. I think he got a few dollars and a few million.
Exactly, Xavier. They living real regular to be some billionaires. That's why I was like,
how they living regular?
I know they living in a mansion.
Right, they're living in a mansion. They're driving expensive cars. They're flying for private jets. Like,
what expensive cars?
Now, yeah, I agree with y'all on the expensive cars. Them Lexuses are not expensive cars, but still. Now, they still had him riding a Bugatti or a Rolls Royce or something like that.
Well, that's going behind it. You got to pay attention. Not you, but I'm saying in general. Lexus is a sponsor. That's you notice true. How many Lexus commercials play?
And all of them drive all the characters throughout the show.
And remember, like 2 episodes ago, where they had the damn Lexus commercial embedded when Will was giving the basketball players a ride. Y'all didn't pay attention. That was a whole.
That was a whole commercial. You didn't lie about that. The massage seat.
Right, you got a recliner back here. Wait a minute, you got a screen. Like that was a whole commercial.
Yeah, that was a whole commercial. Yeah. That was
from that perspective, I see what you're saying, but that's about corporate right there. Lexus is a sponsor.
That's product placement. That's product placement.
That's product placement. Yeah, exactly.
What was this argument whole about? Like, what is the beef between Will and Carlton right now? This does not make sense. Like, what are they beefing about?
Well, this scene right here was when Will confronts him about the Connor situation. Because remember, when Will comes home, he's seeing Connor and Connor mom and them leaving. And then remember, of course, him having a conversation with Lisa. So in this scene here, he's confronting him about it. I think the beef stems from, like, in this situation, Will was trying to get Carlton to admit, like he's back on drugs and etc. whatever, but Carlton's not giving him none of that information because Carlton feels like they're no longer close no more or cool like they used to be. Because remember, he says to Will, like, yo, remember you said my apology wasn't shit. And I think that beef just stems from around that whole the Founders Award thing and Carlton thinking that Will was the one who leaked it versus, you know what I'm saying? Like he felt like that, you know what I'm saying? Like he felt like he leaked it. And I think Will, he just because of all the different stuff that's going on, Will just feel, that's why he told him like the apology wasn't shit. Cause he's like, I'm your cousin, although, we both going for the same awards. Like I wouldn't do that, etc. whatever. But I think that's what like the beef is, like in a sense. And Carlton's just trying to mask that he's using.
That's a good point, Fresh and Xavier. That's a good point. So, okay, they're beefing because, like, you back on that shit again. Like, what's up? You supposed to come to me and let me know, like, when you slipping. But Carlton makes a good point. Like, you so busy wrapped up in your own life and your own mess that you got going on with Doc. Like, you ain't checking for me. Like, you ain't got time for what's going on with me or whatever the case may be. So Carlton is just, he's beating around the bush, but Carlton won't admit that he has a problem.
Right.
And eventually I feel like Will's gonna blow the whistle. Like, I almost felt like in this scene, like someone was gonna walk in on him, like Uncle Phil or Aunt Viv. And going back to the going back to the scene where they got ready to sit down for Connor's parents, and Viv was like, "Okay, Carlton, it's time for you to sit down and tell me about what really happened." Like, I really wanted them to go further with that. And then, like, even after Connor gave that bullshit in that story, they really should have had a follow with Viv and Carlton, where Viv goes to Carlton and be like, "Okay, Carlton, I saved face for you in front of Phil, but like, I know that you're not being honest with me about what happened, or whatever the case may be," because it now looks like she doesn't believe this story. Even after Connor left, she was kind of looking like, this shit don't sound right.
Yeah.
But I love how Carlton threw it back at Will and was like, "You need to be keeping an eye on your girl." And Will was like, "What you talking about?" He was like, "Yeah, okay." And you saw Will was like, "Yeah, Dad told me about," because I don't even think it occurred to Will until Carlton said to him, like, "You really think that whole situation with Becky was a mistake?" You know what I mean? Like, I don't even think
coincidence. Yeah, I forgot all about that. Yeah. He did pull Will card on that. Like, yeah, you need to go find out what's going on with your girl because you think she's not part of this too. That was real. Yeah, that was a real boss move right there. I forgot all about that shit.
I like that definitely. But I also wished Will shouldn't. What I was hoping was about to happen was that drawer that Carlton stopped him from trying to go into.
Yeah, that's when you stopped him.
Yeah,
was the one that had the drugs. And I thought Will was going to push him out the way and peep game, like, he doesn't want me to go in this drawer. He was going to push him, and then he was going to slide it out and see it. And then they was going to have this fight. But they didn't. But at least Will told him, like, "Yo, you're the only one that's lying to yourself."
That's true. Vil, I think Miss Sharon, Keywan, one of them said it last week. But we see where Vivian calls up Yvette, and I'm like, why do they have to give the white lady a black name? She calls up Yvette and accepts the job. But one of the ladies said last week that this job ain't gonna be what she think it is when she take it.
I don't think it is either.
Yeah,
I'm starting to believe that now. I don't think it is either. And I also feel like whatever the lady's name is, we just was talking about it, the devil in the white dress, like, she's setting, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good plot twist. She may be orchestrating all of this.
Yeah, she's setting Viv up to take that.
Yeah, she may be.
I didn't think about that. She might. Oh,
yeah, that's a good plot twist.
I thought about it immediately because I was like, why are you pushing her? Girl, take that job. They don't care about us. And I was like, y'all ain't been cool in years. And now you coming in here like
y'all
the
best for me
for like 20 years, and you're pushing her to take this job. I'm like, why are you so adamant that she takes this job?
Yeah, like I'm really supposed to believe that you want the best for me after 20 years. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I didn't. So, you know what? I didn't even think about that. That's a good one.
That's a real good one, because where I was going with it was, I feel like once she takes this job, she's going to find out that the reason why Janice was the way she was with her was because those ladies was puppeteering her and pulling her string, and they're going to do the same thing to Vivian too, is what I was thinking. But that's an even better plot twist right there, that Erica is the one that's orchestrating all of this from a distance.
Yeah, that would make the most sense to me, but who knows with the writers? Who knows?
It kind of leaves you to interpret that when she was like, because when you think about it, like, yeah, why are you so supportive of me taking this job? Like, this not even your realm. You're not even in the art world. You're in the legal world. So, like, why are you even have an interest in this at all? So that makes perfect sense that she set Vivian up to be a distraction, for this job to be a distraction for Vivian while she move in to try to steal a man. So, yeah, that's a good point. we already talked about Hillary, and right there, I agree with what really be saying. Like, you sitting here mad because he dancing with some other chicks, but you know,
but I thought in this scene though, and I could be wrong. I didn't mean to cut you off, Retro. I thought she just jumped up and he just grabbed her.
But
I
she
don't
had to
remember
wrap
her.
her legs around him.
but you, as you can see, like his arm, I think she was just, I could be wrong, but I just thought in this scene she was just jumping up and he just grabbed her and like picked her up.
That.
Yeah, she was enjoying it. I agree. She was enjoying that. Yeah.
She was having a good time.
Jazz is having his first meet and greet at his record store. You know, he's celebrating. You know, I don't know. I think that he was expecting Hillary to show up, but at the same time, I was kind of thinking to myself, why would you expect her to show up when y'all just broke up? So to me, that didn't make sense.
I think he was hoping. I don't know if he was expecting as much as he was hoping.
Hoping, okay.
It made sense to me because, like he told, which I think when we get to that scene, but yeah, he told Will, like, you know what I'm saying, like Hillary was the one who put all this together. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, then that makes sense.
That's why she was checking the live, because she was like, and that's why she was about to text him, because she was like, yo, I was the one who, and that's when Karrueche was like, forget him. Like, you got this man over here, got you a billboard and all this other stuff. Yeah. Like, that's why she was about to hit him up, because she put it together.
Another missed opportunity, because when she said that, when she made that comment about forget him, I was like, oh yeah, she getting ready to slide back in and pick up where she left off at with Jazz. Like, that's what I was expecting that to lead to. But
now, if that had been Karrueche, like if she had, okay, now that I would have been cool with. If she had showed up and he was dancing with Karrueche, then I'd have been like, okay, Hillary, I understand you being mad.
Yep.
Then, like you said, so you done twisted the block and came back around. Oh, now we got a problem. That I would have understood.
Yep.
But just some random chick at a party, man.
Yeah. That was a good point. So yeah, she was sitting there watching this live. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yep.
And then of course her and Ashley have their little conversation or whatever. And I really think that after she had that conversation with Ashley, she had made her decision that she was going to go to the event.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's when she was
going
to go to the event.
She just wanted an excuse.
Yeah, she wanted to have an excuse to go, or she wanted to be told that it was okay for her to go.
Nah, I don't think that.
What you think, Fresh?
Well, when we get to it, I'll say it.
All right. So Uncle Phil and James are having a conversation, and he decides to break the news to James that, well, good news, we got the contract back, so you know the firm's going to be okay. Second, you know, you're going to have to take over the firm because I've taken the job with Erica's firm. You know, it's your time to shine. And I kind of felt that, you know, he put the firm and his friend, because at the end of the day, he knows that he's well off and he's better off than everyone else is. So he really doesn't need the firm as much as everyone else does. I think they did a good job of letting us know that, hey, you know, these people are depending on us keeping the firm open because, you know, they got kids, they're trying to get to school, they got mortgages or whatever. You know, I'm good over here. I'm good. But, you know, I'm trying to set y'all up so y'all be okay too.
Yeah, that's the same thing I thought. It didn't go the way I thought it was. I thought he was going to, like I said, when he said no deal, I was like, well, yeah, there it go. And then when he told him about the
opportunity,
him taking the other one, I thought he was going to go off and like, what, man? Like, you stabbed me in the back. Here I am, was about to get ready to have this huge acquisition, and then you do this to me and all this stuff. It went way different than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. But it almost sounds like they're still going to have an acquisition, but now they have it on better terms, maybe. Because he said something about, everyone gets to keep their job, everyone, no salary cuts or whatever. So it seems like they're still going to go forward with the acquisition, but just on better terms.
That's right, because he did. That's right, because I forgot whatever his friend name said. It's a good thing I didn't tell them to kiss. You said
kiss my ass, something like that. Yeah,
that is right. That's definitely right.
So Will shows up for the party or whatever, and he asks, "Can he borrow Jazz's place?" You know, he want to link up with Jackie or whatever the case may be. So I already knew what was getting ready to happen with that when he was like, "Oh yeah, let me hold the keys to the crib." Or whatever the case, I already knew that there was going to be a confrontation between him and Jackie.
I knew it was going to be. This went way different than what I thought it was going to go.
For me too,
it went way different because I was like, man, here you go, blinded by some damn booty, man. Like you trying to get the truth, and now she done blinded you with it. And I thought that was about to be the end of it. So I was shocked that afterwards there was a whole conversation.
But
yeah, because
go ahead, Retro.
No, go ahead, Mom.
I hate what they did though.
Me too.
I hated that. So you allowed. So you knew that you had a potential conflict.
Yep.
But you slept with her first. You knew she was deflecting when she was like, "Well, let's talk." Blah blah blah. You knew that there was a deflection there, and so he was still blinded by the booty because you knew, and then you slept with her. I didn't like that at all.
Yeah, because at this point you were already suspicious that she was part of the con. So, like when she deflected and said, "Oh, I know you didn't bring me over here just to talk," like he should have just went ahead and confronted her then and said, "Okay, yo, what's up, Jackie? Were you part of this or not?" But yeah, it was like she threw that whop on him real quick, and she thought that was going to be enough to distract him from questioning her any further about what was going on with the whole Doc situation. The fact that she chose to, I guess he put it down real good for her or whatever. She didn't expect for it to be that good or whatever. It made her decide to go ahead and be honest with him and tell him, and she revealed even more than what he had already suspected.
Knew.
Yeah, what he knew. Yeah.
Yeah, that shocked. Like I said, that shocked me. I was not expecting that at all.
She was.
But I'm with y'all. I didn't like this scene either. I was like, what was the purpose? I was like, I would have rather y'all just let the boy be blinded and then he don't find out till like the next episode.
Yeah. Yeah. I really thought she was gonna play him again, to be honest with you. And that's what I kind of feel like that's what I wanted them to do, was for her to continue to play him to the left. But
yeah,
she admitted to him, which we had already said. We had already said from the beginning when we first started talking about the character that she was going to catch real feelings for Will outside of the con, and that she was going to end up being in the middle of what her uncle was trying to do with Will versus her feelings for him. I mean, that's basically what it is. She's like, that's my uncle. Like, what you expect, But at the same time, I got feelings for you, and I can't go out like that, so I got to let you know what's up.
Yeah. Yep, that's literally. And now that I think about it, I thought also that she, like I said, he was blinded by the booty. I thought that was also her trying to reel him back in to come back to Zenith.
Yep.
Is what I thought afterwards. I thought she was going to be like, come back to Zenith. The team needs you, team misses you, etc. Just give him like some whole BS story or whatever.
Oh, this is a great opportunity for you. You're going to get into a D1C school. And yeah, I really thought she was going to lay it in thick on him. But, she came clean. Do you think that he's going to be done with her?
Oh, he's done. I think I'll be shocked. I'll really, really, really be shocked if he's not. I think, and that's why I hate that they don't have previews. But I got the feeling the next episode is when he's going to try to slowly
make his way back
himself
to Lisa.
Back in with Lisa.
Agreed.
He's going to tell Lisa all this stuff, and then that's when it's going to come out. Bro, this scene made me mad.
It made me mad, too, because this is where I really wanted Connor to reveal what his true motives were. I really wanted this conversation for Connor to really, let Carlton know or try to extort him for something or blackmail him for something. Like, the only reason why I lied for you is because, like, I really wanted this to be revealed.
I was mad.
To be honest with you, I'm not convinced that Connor wasn't taping. That Connor wasn't taping him.
I got that vibe too. I got that vibe that there's something nefarious, like he's up to something.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to pay Carlton back for Will. I feel like his whole motive with Carlton is because Will threw them hands on him at that pool party, and I feel like ever since then he's kind of been like working his own agenda to try to get back at Will through Carlton.
Quick plot twist, because y'all just made me think. What if him and Drew are working together?
Could be. I thought about that too, actually, with the whole video and the whole Founders Award. It just seemed like all.
We're still trying to figure out how Drew got that video.
How Drew got the video, yeah. Because he wasn't there in that scene. We hadn't even been introduced to the character at that point.
I mean, but technically we don't know because if I remember correctly, we don't never see who's actually recording in that scene. So he might have been in that locker room, but like I said, I didn't get the vibes of him taping. I literally thought that in this scene, because especially when his dumb ass decides to like, oh yeah, in broad daylight,
give me some more
nighttime, I was like, yo, Fed's about to pull up. I was like, it's a police either about to ride up or if somebody is undercover somewhere seeing this go down, and now both of y'all about to go to jail.
I felt like Jeffrey was somewhere in the cut.
That was another thing. You're right about that. I thought Jeffrey was going to pop up like, hey, what's this?
If anybody taking pictures, it's Jeffrey.
I just thought he was going to pop up. I found it funny too when he said in this scene, Jeffrey's rolling around like a modern day Luther.
Yeah.
That cracked me up.
When he said that's what made me think. I said, well, Luther watching you right now, you just don't know it.
Right.
I thought one of the two was gonna happen, but it ain't never happened.
Because we know that that Jeffrey don't believe this bullshit story. We know that.
Yeah, he told him. Yeah, he told him he didn't believe it. He was like, I'm gonna let you be a man and eventually let your family know the secrets that you hide or something to that effect. Hillary shows up to the party and she see Jazz, having a good time. It's his party. He's the host. He's this is his moment. Would you expect him to be sitting off somewhere sad? Like the man's enjoying himself. Like, and the crazy part about it is he was thinking for you. He was thinking about you. He was anticipating for you to show up, but you didn't come soon enough.
Here's where both of them should have been adults, because both of them were thinking about each other. She should have sent the text, or he should have sent the text. Both of them was playing games, mind games, whatever, because he was faking like he wasn't checking for her, but yet he kept looking at the door.
Yeah.
Every 30 seconds, even when Will kept coming in, he kept looking to see. And remember, right after this, he danced and having a good time, but he looked to see if she come through the door. You could have just texted her.
Yeah.
She could have did the exact same thing and just could have texted him, but then she walks through the door and she gets in her feelings because she sees him with a whole bunch of girls, which of course, like, I don't even think she wanted him to be moping around in a sense. I think it's because it's still fresh. And both of them broke up, and she was expecting him to, I guess, necessarily just be like hosting or something. I think it was just because she never sent that text. Yeah. And so when she saw that, her little feelings got hurt. Like, oh, he don't care about me. With both of y'all, and y'all should have just been adults. Like, he should have sent it. You was checking for her. Will said something about it, and what you like, man, I ain't nobody checking for her. Yes, you were. That's why you was looking. And then I think that's what made her go back here, was because her little feelings was hurt. And I think on the next episode, she gonna regret going back to dude. I think that's exactly what's gonna happen.
I think she is gonna regret sleeping with him because I think she did that out of
spite.
Out of spite, yeah.
Look. Yeah, I think she gonna wake up that next morning like, oh, like what I do, like, dude, LaMarcus, he gonna be all thinking everything. They back cool, they good together, and that's when she's gonna be like, we're not. My feelings were all over the place. All this other stuff. Whatever. Yeah, that's what I think. Next episode, she just gonna regret it.
But going back to what Really B said earlier, I think it was a missed opportunity for them not to have Karuchi there, and he was dancing with her. That would have made this all a bigger plot twist. It would have made it a bigger.
It would have made it make sense to me.
Yeah. It should have been Karuchi. Because now we could have killed two birds with one stone with that. Because now we could have had the next episode Hillary confronting Karuchi about, pushing back up on Jazz again when he was like, you just talking shit to me at the event about him, and now you trying to slide in after we broke up. Then all the stuff could have came out about the product, the endorsement deal, all that could have been. They could have tied all that up in one big bow.
Yep.
See. Bel Air, if you're listening, we can write for you.
We can write for you. Yep. Put us in that writer room between us and our chat. Yo, we'll come up with some great stories for y'all. Put us in that writer's room, yo. Peacock, hit us up. So yeah, I agree. I do think that she's gonna live. She's gonna regret it. Yeah, she's gonna regret it. Yeah, she's gonna regret it. So this thing right here, oh my god!
I just want to know why, and I forget his real name, but y'all know him as Suge Knight from Straight Outta Compton.
Yep.
Why every movie, TV show, whatever I see him in, he's always playing an evil character.
Yep, he always some kind of thug or hoodlum. Yep, yep. So I guess that's Doc muscle. That's the first time we don't see Doc with some with an entourage and some muscle. Yeah.
I guess now since the dude about to blow the whistle on him, he felt like he needs security. And I was waiting since he was reaching. I thought Jeffrey's about to open up his coat like
yeah, you want to go there?
Yeah, like I thought
Jeffrey like he was reaching through. Jeffrey like he was getting ready.
Yeah, Jeffrey was like, you don't want to do that. I thought he was going to show, like, I got some artillery. You ain't even ready.
Yeah, Jeffrey was like, yeah, you don't really want to do that.
Yeah. He was like, yo. But this is where we learn what the angle is. We learn that Doc has really been moving the chess pieces around because he really, instead of, the crazy part about it is he could have confronted this a whole different way. If he needed Uncle Phil's help to get rid of Lorenzo or whatever the case may be, that should have been a discussion they had when they were arguing about the contract or whatever. But basically, he wants to kind of extort Phil into helping him get rid of Lorenzo. And basically, we learn in this scene that he knows about what Uncle Phil did for Will, which goes back to what Really B had said in the episode. We were trying to figure out whether or not Will told Doc about what happened back in Philly, and apparently he did, like a dumbass. Yeah, Jeffrey was ready. He was ready. He said, I got all the smoke right here, and I got time.
But I guess he did. But I'm also wondering if maybe he already knew and he just wanted Will to confirm it. Because remember, whatever the dude was that showed him the article even brought up him balling in Philly.
Yep.
And I'm sure, like, there's no way, like, how they, even though Uncle Phil got that charge thrown out, I can't see them getting, like, I'm sure there was like an article on the arrest or something of that nature. I can't see that just getting, mysteriously erased from the internet. But you might be right though. I think he might have told him then when they had that little heart-to-heart sitting outside.
I think it's a combination of both. I think he had already done his research on Will, and he needed Will to confirm it because he couldn't find any media source about it. So I think
I agree. I don't think he had any confirmation. Like you said, he might have suspected how the charges got dropped, but he needed that confirmation.
Yep. And he moved his pieces around on the board to get what he wanted. But how do y'all think this is going to work out?
I don't know. I think somehow I got multiple scenarios in my head. I think one of the scenarios Phil and Jeffrey are going to somehow figure out some way to probably kill two birds in one stone and get whatever that dude is that's trying to blow the whistle on Doc, as well as Doc caught up, or he's going to go back to Will and tell him like, hey, this is what Doc got going on. As much as you don't want to, you might need to still play for Zenith until I can get this situation resolved.
Yeah, that's gonna be the question when he got to tell Will, look, you still got to play for Zenith.
Yeah, that's what's gonna be the next blow up. That's gonna be the next blow up. I agree. Or I can see keeping the whole dark thing. I can see Doc mysteriously coming up unalive. What are they trying to show us here with Will? With him dressed in all black, we already know an all black outfit. We know that's a murder uniform right there. We know that Will was like, sitting there with his little scoured look on his face, like, so what happens? What if something ends up happening to Doc? And eventually it comes out that Lorenzo was the one who did it. But what if they all suspect Will as the one who did it? What are they trying to show us here in this scene?
I didn't get this scene because it was like, I thought while he was sitting there, I thought that maybe they was going to show him like leaving the house and then going somewhere,
loading up a blunt.
Then it cut off. But he was just sitting there, and I was like, and it cuts off, and I was like, okay, so like, is he just angry? Like what? I didn't get this scene. I didn't get what was the end game of this scene. It's like, and especially, I'm gonna be pissed if y'all did this scene and then the next episode he does nothing of no type of evil at all. Because it was like this scene was pointless then. Because this scene right here make it look like he about to air something out, and none of that happens on the next episode.
I don't think that he's feeling sorry for himself. I think he's getting ready to go do something stupid.
Right.
I mean, I do, but it's like, what is it though?
Yeah, what is it? That's what we're trying to figure out. And I agree with you. I wholeheartedly agree with you. I would be so disappointed next episode if they don't show us what it was that he actually went and did.
And again, this scene would make a little bit more sense if this happened after Uncle Phil told him, look,
you gotta still play
for Zenith, you gotta play for Doc. Like I mean, especially if they don't tell him the truth and he like, look, I done paid this money. You got to play out your contract. Then this thing, I still would have been like, well, what he gonna do? But it would have made a little more sense to see how angry he is and like he out to do something. But I don't know.
Unless,
go ahead, Fresh.
It just popped in my head. Unless he goes to either he does one or two things. He goes to that dude that was trying to blow the whistle on him, or Will becomes the whistleblower himself.
Yep. That's a good point, AOV. He's thinking about how the man in his life has disappointed him, because that's exactly what we hear and see. Well, we don't necessarily see it, but we hear him thinking. We hear his thoughts, and his thoughts go back to Lou. It goes back to Doc. It goes back to Uncle Phil. So yes, that's a very good point. And really, they need to have a transition scene where Phil and Jeffrey go back to Will and tell Will, what's up? Hey, he knows about what happened with you in Philly. You're going to have to still play for him while we figure out how to get you out of this mess. They need to have a conversation with him about that. And
that better happen in the next episode.
Yeah, and let him be part of the solution, because as long as they keep him in the dark, then Will's stupid ass is going to go do something dumb and going to fuck up everything else that they're trying to do to get him out of the mess that he's in.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
He is, but that better happen. This next episode, man, they better come with something, because if this how y'all end of y'all season, I don't know if I'll be around for season 3.
I may be around for season 3, but I don't know. Like I said, I tried to give it a chance. Y'all. I don't know. It's not hip hop homicides. We watched one episode and we were done with that, so we didn't even come back and review that anymore. So it ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. We stuck around for all the best man, so it ain't that bad. But I feel you on that. I hope that season 3 is much better than what we get season 1.
I'm about to write to the staff or something. I'm about to find an email address, something, or write a full 4-page letter in a regular envelope. Like, man, look, y'all made it candy, like a candy coated this season, but then y'all upped the cursing. Like the first season was dark, but it was barely no cursing. Now y'all went candy, and now it's like y'all got to pick and choose which way y'all want to go. Y'all need to stick to that way. Like it is, yeah.
But we got one more episode, y'all. So this one episode could redeem itself. So we ain't done yet. We ain't at the finish line yet. We getting close. We getting close. All right, guys. Well, that wraps up this week's recap of Bel Air season 2, episode 9, just like old time. So y'all make sure y'all drop y'all thoughts in the comments. We can continue these discussions. Make sure y'all hit that like button on y'all way out. We appreciate y'all. Y'all come on back in about 30-40 minutes. Catch our first thoughts, first impressions of Power Book 2. We'll be back Sunday for our live recap panel. You guys got anything else? You talking about more darkness and nudity? Come on, Xavier.
I can't handle nudity, man. Like,
this is high school.
Not power.
Yeah,
nudity
it's not power. It's not
supposed
power.
to be like a family, somewhat oriented.
Yeah,
like I said, I just hope they come with they got to come with a explosive season finale. If they don't come with an explosive season finale, then yeah, like I said, I'm gonna be
at
pissed.
this point. I can't see what they could give us for an explosion. Like all the storylines that they built up for the season, they're just so they're not interesting. They're not interesting. They're not cliffhanger storylines that they built us up. Like last season, they built up the whole confrontation with Will and Lou. That was a great way to end the season. This season, I can't see how they can end the show off with something that's going to be interesting. Like I can't wait for season 3. Like I don't see no plot points that will make me feel like okay, I can't wait for season 3 to come.
I don't know. Maybe Will about to shoot Doc and they stop him, or they go black and all you hear is a gunshot or something. I don't know. And Will gets shot in
I go
head.
back to because the whole dressed in all black. I'm like, Will get ready to go do something stupid. He finna get in more trouble now. But we'll see.
We will see.
Really, B, you got any final thoughts?
No. No.
All right, guys. Well, that will wrap up this week.
We don't review Snowfall.
No, we don't do Snowfall, Miss Sharon.
Oh yeah, man, Sharon. Snowfall is done. Like, like it
I don't know. We might put it on the retro review list. When we get our next break. When we get our next, I don't know if we're going to get a break with Power or not, but when we get our next break, me and Really B have been kind of talking about doing some reach backs and doing some retro reviews. So we might add it to the retro review list.
Yeah.
We could.
We can do whatever.
I watched the first 2 seasons and then that kind of fell off. Although I heard it's good, I just kind of fell off.
Oh man, I couldn't make it through season 1, so I got to give it a chance. I might be something I do on some break, so we'll see. All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap it up this week. We will see you guys on the next show.
Blue.
Good night.